Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to discuss one of the most surprising developments in modern geopolitics, a move that has already begun to change the dynamics of the Middle East and potentially the global order. China and Russia, two of the world's most influential powers, have shocked analysts, rival nations, and international organizations by forming an alliance with Yemen. This unexpected partnership has caused waves of speculation, debate, and even alarm across the globe. To truly understand the depth of this alliance, we must look at it from different perspectives, examining its external image, the internal mechanics, the performance so far, its safety implications, the unique selling points that differentiate it from other alliances, the costs or prices involved, and finally bring it all together with a balanced conclusion. From an external viewpoint, the China-Russia-Yemen alliance appears to be a direct challenge to the traditional order of the Middle East. For decades, Western powers, primarily the United States and its European allies, alongside powerful regional actors like Saudi Arabia, Iran, Turkey, and Israel, have dominated the political, military, and economic balance of the region. However, the entrance of China and Russia into Yemen changes the visible map of influence dramatically. Externally, this looks like a bold maneuver to gain leverage over one of the most strategically significant locations in the world. Yemen's geography cannot be overstated. It sits by the el-Mandeb Strait, one of the most critical maritime choke points, through which millions of barrels of oil and billions of dollars in trade pass every day. Whoever maintains influence here holds a hand on the pulse of global commerce. When China and Russia extend their hands into Yemen, they are not merely supporting a war-torn state, they are inserting themselves into one of the world's most vital arteries of trade and security. This exterior impression is powerful. It signals to rivals that this alliance is about global stakes, not just local politics. It shows the world that China and Russia are ready to project strength beyond their borders, directly into Western spheres of interest. Internally, however, the alliance operates on a much more delicate balance. China brings to the table its unparalleled economic influence, massive infrastructure projects, and technological advancements. Through initiatives like the Belt and Road, China has already laid the foundation for integrating ports, highways, and industries across Asia and Africa, and Yemen provides another link in that chain. Russia, in contrast, contributes primarily through military expertise, intelligence networks, and diplomatic maneuvering. Yemen, the weaker partner in this triangle, gains access to resources, legitimacy, and an invaluable layer of protection against its adversaries. Inside the mechanics of this partnership, however, lies complexity. Russia and China must coordinate their approaches to avoid stepping on each other's strategic interests, while Yemen must ensure it does not surrender its sovereignty in exchange for protection and investment. Internally, the cooperation is pragmatic, direct, and transactional, focusing on immediate mutual benefits rather than long-term ideological alignment. When it comes to performance, the alliance is already beginning to display results. In the diplomatic arena, Russia has been loud and assertive in promoting Yemen's case in international platforms, countering Western narratives that traditionally favored rival Gulf powers. Russia's position in the United Nations Security Council allows it to shield Yemen from excessive international pressure, while also framing the conflict in terms favorable to its allies. China, on the other hand, demonstrates performance through tangible investment and trade. With its ability to mobilize massive resources, China is already looking at developing Yemeni ports, modernizing infrastructure, and linking the country into its global trade networks. Militarily, Russia has offered training, advanced weapons systems, and tactical expertise that enhance Yemen's ability to defend itself. China complements this with advanced drone technology, surveillance systems, and cyber capabilities that strengthen Yemen's intelligence framework. The combined performance of Russia and China gives Yemen more confidence, while simultaneously elevating its standing in regional conflicts. This performance has not gone unnoticed, as neighboring states and Western powers are reassessing their own strategies in response to this rapidly emerging partnership. The safety aspect of the alliance is one of its most important features. For Yemen, safety translates into deterrence. Aligning with two nuclear-armed superpowers makes it far more difficult for rivals to launch direct military campaigns against it without risking escalation. For Russia and China, safety is about securing their own strategic interests in the region. By embedding themselves in Yemen, they guarantee a presence near critical maritime routes, while also establishing military and intelligence footholds that prevent Western domination. The safety mechanism works both ways. Yemen is shielded by the alliance, and Russia and China are safeguarded by their increased access and control over regional routes. Safety also extends to energy security. With the alliance in place, China and Russia can better guarantee the flow of oil and goods, while preventing their rivals from monopolizing choke points. Of course, safety here is not absolute, as the alliance itself raises risks of escalation, but its deterrent factor is strong enough to alter the decision-making calculus of adversaries. The unique selling points of this alliance set it apart from traditional Western involvement in the Middle East. Unlike the United States or Europe, which often tie military or economic support to strict conditions related to governance, human rights, or political alignment, China and Russia emphasize sovereignty and mutual benefit. For Yemen, this is highly appealing, as it allows the state to receive aid, investment, and protection without overt interference in its domestic affairs. For Russia, the unique selling point is that it strengthens its image as a global military and diplomatic powerhouse capable of countering Western dominance. For China, the selling point is expanding the Belt and Road Initiative into new regions, securing vital maritime trade routes, and showing itself as a credible partner for development. Together, their approach presents a unique alternative for nations seeking partnerships free of Western preconditions, positioning the alliance as a more flexible and accommodating power structure. Of course, every alliance comes with a price, and this one is no exception. For Russia and China, the financial cost includes billions in investments, military resources, and the risk of sanctions or diplomatic retaliation from Western powers and their allies in the Gulf. There is also the political price of being drawn into Yemen's internal complexities, which are historically volatile and prone to instability. For Yemen, the price is potentially high as well. While the alliance offers strength, protection, and development, it also risks making Yemen overly dependent on foreign powers, thereby compromising elements of sovereignty and decision-making. There is also the danger that Yemen becomes a pawn in the broader competition between East and West, suffering the consequences of global rivalry on its soil. Nevertheless, the parties involved seem prepared to bear these costs, as the perceived benefits of influence, survival, and expansion outweigh the risks. In conclusion, the China-Russia-Yemen alliance is not a small or symbolic move, it is a geopolitical shockwave. Externally, it signals a powerful new front in global competition, showing the determination of Beijing and Moscow to extend influence into the heart of Western-dominated regions. Internally, it functions as a careful but pragmatic arrangement, balancing resources, strengths, and vulnerabilities. In terms of performance, the alliance has already begun producing results, boosting Yemen's position and strengthening the role of China and Russia in the region. In safety, it provides deterrence and strategic positioning for all sides involved. The unique selling points differentiate it from Western-style alliances, appealing to nations tired of conditional partnerships. And while the price is high, the willingness of all sides to pay it shows the importance they attach to this cooperation. This alliance has the potential not only to reshape the balance of power in Yemen and the Middle East, but also to accelerate the rise of a multipolar world order where power is no longer concentrated in the hands of one bloc, but shared among competing giants. The world is watching, and the ripple effects of this alliance will continue to spread for years to come, reshaping strategies, alliances, and the future of global politics.